Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. My name is Margaret Burke, and I am the Education USA advisor in Costa Rica. And it is my pleasure to have you here today with us for the TOEFL preparation bootcamp for North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. So before we get started with our class, I wanted to explain what we do in Education USA. And hello to everyone who's joining us on Facebook Live. If you have any questions throughout today's session and you're on Facebook Live, please type a comment. And if you are in Zoom with us, please send them to me, Q&A, Margaret Mo Burke, and I will be collecting the questions to ask our guest, Sorani, at the very end. So to begin, what is Education USA? We are a global network of advising centers located around the world in more than 175 countries. And our goal is to help students apply to and get to US universities and colleges, hopefully to pursue an associate's, bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, and even intensive English programs. And our services, our basic advising services, are free, which is a wonderful news. We always like to go over a few frequently asked questions just to make sure that everyone is clear on what services we offer. So the most common question we get in Education USA is if we are a scholarship program or if we offer scholarships. We can help you consider the different financial aid opportunities available to you at the universities and colleges in the United States. But Education USA specifically is not a scholarship program, and we cannot offer you funding, but we're going to help you try and find all of the possible opportunities and ways to fund your studies. As for the next question, are there any opportunities to improve my English? If you're planning on starting an academic program, like an associate's, bachelor's, master's, PhD, you do already need to speak an advanced level of English, which is why we're having this preparation bootcamp, so you guys can get really impressive scores on the TOEFL test. However, there are universities and colleges that also offer intensive English programs. In case any of you are interested, it is important to keep in mind that the intensive English programs have similar costs as the educational programs. So you would be responsible for financing that. Another question we get is if we can help you guys find like a short-term study abroad, like a cultural experience or an internship abroad. And we actually focus on the services that US universities and colleges offer. So we focus on those academic programs, intensive English programs, or certificates. However, I do want to mention when I see the word internship that if you study in the United States on an F1 student visa, after you complete your studies, you are able to extend your visa for up to 1 year with a program that is called OPT and work legally in the United States using your degree. So it has to be in your same area. So it's a great advantage to the student visa. And the final question we get is if we have any special partnerships or agreements with specific universities. We actually represent all of the 4,700 universities in the United States. So we will help you find the best option for you according to your personal and academic goals and desires. And we help you from the very beginning until the very end. So in the beginning, we help you understand your options, the types of universities, the types of programs. Then we talk about the different ways you could potentially finance your studies, if we're talking about partial scholarships or assistantships or fellowships or loans. And step 3, we help you actually apply to the institution. For example, today's webinar is an example of step 3 because you have to take standardized tests. We also help with revising essays, understanding how to fill out the Common App, understanding how to fill out economic documents. And then after you've gotten into a university, we can guide you on the steps you need to take to get your student visa at your nearby US consulate. And then we also help you right before you get ready, explaining cultural differences, how to get through the airport, how the health insurance system works in the United States. And I just wanted to remind you that all of these basic services are completely free. But enough from me. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our guest presenter, Sorani Marin, who is the Associate Director for TOEFL and GRE in Costa Rica, Colombia, Honduras, Mexico, Panama, and Cuba. She's also a psychologist and a master in education and diversity, and she's also in my opinion, a wonderful and dynamic teacher who's going to walk you guys through the basics of the TOEFL in-person test, the TOEFL Home Essentials test, and today we're going to focus on reading. So I just wanted to mention before I give Sorani the microphone that there are 4 sessions to this boot camp. We have today, tomorrow, June 15th, and June 16th. And actually, Sorani has a free practice test that we're going to raffle off in between all of the people that participate in all 4 sessions. So this is incentive for you to participate in all 4 sessions, so you have a chance to win that free practice TOEFL test. Thank you so much for being with us, Sorani. I'm going to go ahead and let you share your screen and get started.
Okay, Margaret, thank you. By the way, this TPO, that's the name of the free practice test. This is a code, and it is basically the same. It is the same exam, TOEFL IBT. The difference is that it is an old exam, right? That ETS, Educational Testing Service, sales, right? And it is great because, I mean, the score that you get when using this great tool, the TPO, is going to be, and you will see it, very close to what you will get like in the official exam. So I think it is one of the, well, in fact, it's my favorite tool, right? Practice tool to prepare for TOEFL IBT. Okay, so let me share my screen now. Let me see. Okay. So you already know who I am. My name is Sorani Marin Gonzalez. And, okay, hold on. Here we go. Okay, this is my email. Okay, I think this is the most important part of the presentation, the fact that you get my email. Okay, you have to know that I'm here to help. I work very close to Margaret and all the Education USA advisors, and I try to help candidates. Helping how? Helping, for example, with creating their ETS account, how to register for the exam. That's something else that I can definitely help with. I also help you with materials that you may need, preparation materials you may need before taking the exam. If you have any issue with your scores, I'm here to help as well. And that's it. Okay, that's why payment. If you have issues with payment, I can also guide you on how to do it. Home edition. Okay, you know, now we have like 3 different formats of the exam: the TOEFL IBT that you can take at a TOEFL site, the home edition, and paper edition. So for home edition, there are some differences. We're going to talk about those differences, just 3 differences between home edition and the exam that you take at a TOEFL site. So sometimes it is, you know, like kind of confusing for candidates to visit the website. And although everything is very clear, that's what I think in there. Sometimes, you know, like we interpret that information like in a different way. So it is much better for you to have Sorani next to you on the phone, letting you know how to successfully take home edition. Okay, so that's why this is the most important slide of the presentation. Okay, my email. Okay, so as Margaret mentioned at the beginning, the main purpose of this presentations of all these 4 sessions that we are going to have on TOEFL IBT. The main purpose is basically, you know, to help you guys get, you know, like the best scores in TOEFL IBT. So all the questions you may have, please take notes. Okay, so at the end of the presentation, you can go ahead and ask. Okay, but take notes about those questions because of, I mean, otherwise my guess is that you're gonna probably forget those questions at the end. Okay, so let's start. TOEFL IBT. Okay, so the first part of this presentation is just an overview, like a quick overview of the exam, and then I'm gonna focus on reading. So this exam has something that I think this is one of the of my favorite characteristics of the exam. Okay, that it integrates skills. You know, it measures the ability to communicate by combining all 4 language skills: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. But it integrates skills. So what is the meaning of that, Sorani? It's simple. For example, in the speaking section, okay, you're gonna be working first part of the integrated task, okay, of speaking. You're gonna understand what an integrated speaking task is next week, okay? So in that section of the exam, you're gonna be reading, you have to read a paragraph, okay? It's a short paragraph, just, you know, like 5 lines. Generally, this paragraph is a proposal or an announcement, okay? So you read it, then you listen to 2 people talking about the same proposal or the same announcement. You can take notes, okay? From the very beginning of the exam, you're gonna be allowed to take notes. And then you take notes, and then they are going to ask you a question where you're gonna have to use information from that paragraph you read and from the notes you took from that conversation, okay? So there we had reading, listening, of course, you were taking notes, so that's writing, and you were speaking, okay? So there we have the 4 skills, all of them integrated. Same thing for the integrated task of the writing section of the exam, okay? You're gonna have to use all 4 skills. So why is it your favorite, Sorani? Simple, because what I think is that this is how you naturally learn any other language, right? Yeah, you don't say, you were not told when you were a child by your mom, okay, today we're gonna just read, okay? Don't speak, don't listen to me, right? No, you read, right? You speak, you listen. I mean, there's interaction. So this is how you naturally learn any language. Okay, number 2, TOEFL IBT is academic, okay? It doesn't have any general English, and it is not because general English is not important, absolutely not, okay? No, general English is important as well. But the main purpose of this exam is to prepare you guys to survive in an academic setting, okay? So in you know, at the university, so that's why it is academic. So all the conversations that for example, you're going to find in the listening section are conversations between a professor and a student talking about a project, 2 professors talking about an event they are working on, the student and the registrar, or the student and the librarian. So everything takes place at an academic setting. Okay, something else is that it provides fair and objective scoring. You're gonna get your TOEFL scores. Let's say you take the exam today. So in like between 6 to 10 business days, you're gonna get your score report, okay? So what you're gonna find in your score report is absolutely clear, chicos, it's very, very clear. So what you're gonna find in there is your score for reading from 0 to 30, okay? Because the exam goes up to 120. 120 is the highest score that you're gonna get in TOEFL IBT. Listo. So reading, they are going to give you, this is what you're gonna see in the score report. You're going to see that from 0 to 30, they are going to give you the score for reading, the score for listening, for speaking, and for writing. And additionally, they are going to give you like your final score. So everything, of course, is going to be mapped with the Common European Framework of Reference. Additionally to this information, you're gonna understand like why you got, for example, in reading, out of 30, you got, I don't know, something low, 15, which is low, right, for reading. So you're gonna understand why, because there is a chart in that score report where you're gonna see like the explanation, like the feedback, like very complete feedback, and they are going to share links with you to download materials, additional materials for free to prepare for the next time that you're planning on, you know, taking the exam. Okay, so it is very, very clear. That's the score report. TOEFL IBT scores are accepted by more than, look at this number, right? 12,500 institutions, universities, and agencies in more than 180 countries. And I have to tell you guys that in the United States, 100% of the universities, all of them accept TOEFL IBT scores, okay? No exception. Okay. So I was telling you here that it measures the ability to communicate by combining all 4 language skills: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. I didn't tell you something. Pay attention and take notes because I have questions at the end of this presentation. But I think, no. Margaret didn't tell you either. Okay, I want to ask you questions. Okay, so here we have the 4 main skills, but additionally, there are some sub-skills. This is how I call them, that are absolutely necessary for you guys to get like a good score in TOEFL IBT, okay? What are these sub-skills? Summarizing, synthesizing, analyzing information, and paraphrasing, okay? So sometimes, and I'm a professor of English as well, sometimes I have had students who, I mean, they know how to speak, but it is difficult for them. It is kind of complicated for them, challenging to paraphrase information. Sometimes because they don't have like enough vocabulary, because probably their grammar is basic sometimes, right? Some students, some of my students, they confuse the meaning of, like, what is summarizing and synthesizing? Is it the same? No, those are 2 very different things, okay? So you need to know how to summarize, how to synthesize, how to analyze information, how to paraphrase. Sometimes students also, I have them read something, and then when they finish reading, I ask them, okay, so what is the main idea of what you just read? Okay, main idea and 2 or 3 minor ideas. They have to read again. Yes, because they are not quick enough, like to read and analyze, like all the information presented in the passage. Okay, so all these skills are skills that you're gonna find at any institution where you register to take a TOEFL prep course. You're gonna see that they are going to focus on of course, on reading and listening and speaking and writing. But at the same time, you're gonna find that those facilitators will include all these activities that aim at giving you like all the, like improving like all those skills necessary for you to get like a good score in TOEFL IBT. Okay, so here I added 2 more, and this is not part, in fact, of the official presentation: note taking and time management. I think these ones are definite. You need to know how to take notes, chicos. You have to know how to take notes. There are different methods for taking notes, and these methods, I mean, the method that you're gonna choose depends mostly on, sometimes on the nature of the task, and some other times I would say on the learning style of the candidate. That's my opinion. I'm going to share with you those methods in a minute. Okay, so note taking. In the case of the listening section, chicos, in the listening section of the exam, it is absolutely mandatory to take notes. Okay, why? Because the conversations that we're gonna talk about listening tomorrow, the conversations that you're gonna find in there, or even the lectures, those are short lectures. They are longer than usual. They are not more difficult than the ones that you are, like more familiar with, like the ones, for example, that you've used in those courses of English, or the ones that you have used, in the classes at the universities, right? They are not more difficult. They are just longer than usual. If you know how to take notes, you won't have any problem with the length of those conversations and those lectures. Trust me, okay? Because the accents are, like, they are not like difficult to understand. They don't use, in the conversations or even in the lectures, they don't use complicated vocabulary. It is academic, but it is not advanced vocabulary. I'm not gonna tell you it is basic. No, I have to be honest. It is intermediate, okay? It is intermediate. So note taking is important, especially if the length of those conversations, if they are longer than usual, right? Because you're not gonna be able to memorize all that information. I have seen people, I used to be a TCA, test center administrator. So I used to see how candidates taking a TOEFL, at a TOEFL site, they just, they play the listening and they close their eyes, right? Just like this. And I was like, oh my God, he won't be able to remember. It's impossible. It's too much information. Okay, so taking notes is mandatory. Okay, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna share with you those methods in a minute. And there can be, you know, like many other methods, right? Remember, it depends on the nature of the task, and it also depends on your learning style. And time management, okay? This is, I think, one of the main reasons why many people around the world, they say TOEFL IBT is very complicated, is difficult, I'm afraid of TOEFL, etc. Okay, you don't have to be afraid of TOEFL. If you prepare for the exam, if you take a TOEFL prep course, you can even register for our TOEFL prep course that is for free. It is in edX. I'm going to share with you the link at the end. If you prepare, you're not going to have any problem with time. But if you don't prepare, and if you're not used to being timed, that's going to be a problem, right? Because everything from the very beginning till the end of the exam is timed. In the speaking section, for example, and we're going to practice next week, get ready, okay? I'm going to give you topics, and I'm going to choose a person, and you're going to participate. In the speaking section, you're going to be given, for the independent task, you're going to be given 15 seconds to prepare your response. You're going to be given a familiar topic, right? So 15 seconds to prepare your response, and then 45 seconds to respond, okay? That's enough. Like at first you could say, Sorani, this is just impossible. We won't be able to do it. It is possible, right? You just need to train yourselves with, you know, like with time management. That's it. In those 15 seconds, I mean, that's more than enough for you to say, okay, this is the introduction. So I'm going to say, I agree because of this. This is my introduction. Just notes, not the whole script of what you're going to say. Then what is the body of your response? Okay, I'm going to give 2 examples because I only have 45 seconds. So 2 examples, that's going to work, right? 2 examples. And then you connect, you close, right? The closure of your response, and that's it. And you use 3 connectors, 4 connectors. So your response can see, you know, like can be like understandable, right? And that's all. But we're going to practice next week. And this is basically what you're going to do in those TOEFL prep courses that you take before taking the exam, okay? Sorani, is it too important? Is it mandatory to take a TOEFL prep course? I would say yes, okay? Capitalized. Sometimes our level of English is, we would say, okay, Sorani, I'm a C1. Why should I take a TOEFL prep course? I'm a C1. I mean, I have all the probabilities to get a C1 in TOEFL IBT or a C2, right? Because I'm a C1 in English. Okay, how do you know you're a C1 in English? I just know, okay. So people, you know, they feel confident about their level of English, and they say, I don't need to take a TOEFL prep course. Please take it, okay? You have to be very committed with that dream that you have about applying for this or that scholarship. So be responsible and take a TOEFL prep course. If you have a great high level of English, take it, and the course is going to give you all the tools for you to know, number 1, how to manage time, number 2, how to take notes, okay? Because I mean, what I think is that when you take this exam, there are, I mean, many things happen, right? You're in there, and let's say you're well prepared, okay? But remember, you're a human being, right? So you're thinking about the expectations of your parents, you're thinking about your own expectations. Okay, what am I going to get? I need 100 at least. You're thinking about, you know, like you have everything ready, right, to apply for that scholarship. The only thing you're missing is the exam. So all these expectations create what, chicos? Anxiety, right? Anxiety. That anxiety in the first section of the exam, in the reading section, is going to probably deteriorate your score, okay? It's going to hurt your score, okay? So that's why I insist it is important to take a TOEFL prep course, It is important to go over all those materials that we have. They are available and they are online, and most of them are for free. And I can also share materials with you, okay? But please prepare for the exam, okay? Okay, so the exam right now, the exam that you're gonna be taking soon is shorter. That, you know, back in 2019, before August, it was longer, okay? So now this is the exam that you're gonna take. So for the reading section, you're gonna find from 3 to 4 reading passages, 10 questions each. In the past, you had to go through the same number of passages, but 14 questions. Okay, so this makes a difference. Okay, of course, if you get 3 passages, if you get 4 passages, you're gonna have more time to work on those passages, right? On that last passage. So that's important. Then you're going to continue working on the listening section of the exam. You're gonna find from 3 to 4 lectures, 6 questions each, 2 to 3 conversations, 5 questions each. You get more time if you get more lectures or conversations. So then it depends on what to get 4, because I want to get 3, definitely. Okay, that's my wish. I want to get just 3. It depends on the day of the administration, chicos. Sometimes the, you know, like TOEFL IBT administrators, they say, well, we're going to pilot this reading passage today and see if we can use it in a future administration of TOEFL IBT. So they just put it there. If you get 4, one of those reading passages is not going to be scored. Okay, which one is it, Sorani? Do we get to know? No, we don't know. We have to work on all of them. Okay, yeah, just checking if, you know, like if they are too difficult or if they are too easy. But if you get 4, for sure, one of those ones is not going to be scored. Same thing for that additional lecture or that additional conversation. Then right after the listening section, if you're taking your exam at a TOEFL site, you're going to on a 10-minute break. Same thing if you're taking the exam at home. Okay, there are differences, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. Right after the break, you're going to start working on the speaking section. You're going to be working on 4 different tasks, 1 independent and 3 integrated. And then finally, this is the last part of the exam. You're going to be working on writing 2 different tasks, 1 independent and 1 integrated. So here we have that this is a 3-hour exam. Okay, so it is shorter, much shorter than before. Okay, so I have been mentioning a couple of times this new format of the exam, TOEFL IBT Special Home Edition. My email is there. Okay, so please take a picture of the slide if necessary. So there are differences, but I mean, it is the same exam. Okay, same content, same format of the exam, same on-screen experience. Okay, same features. Also, Home Edition also has my best scores. Okay, and instant scoring for reading and listening. So at the end of the exam, you're gonna get to see, you know, what you got, what you scored for reading and for listening. Okay, same thing for Home Edition. The cost of the exam and the payment option, that's just the same. Scoring and score reports, same thing. You're gonna get your score reports for Home Edition or the one that you took at a TOEFL site, and between, you know, like 6 to 10 business days. The same preparation, because, well, it is just the same exam, right? What are the differences? These are the differences between Home Edition and the one that you're going to take at a TOEFL site. Number one, that you're at home, right? You're taking the exam at home. So you have to visit, if you're planning on taking Home Edition, please visit a TOEFL IBT Home Edition website and see all the requirements there. Because if you're at home, of course, there are some conditions, some policies, right? Any person can get into the room where you're taking the exam. There are, well, another difference is that you're going to have to use your own computer. So previously, you're going to have to download the ATS browser. You're going to have to run it is a kind of readiness check on your computer through ProctorU, which is the platform that allows ETS to administer TOEFL IBT home edition. So this readiness check is going to basically check your camera, your sound, like if your computer is okay for you to take the exam, if it is going to work, okay? And if there's something, this is something that you have to do before taking the exam, not on the day of the exam, right? If you do it before, you're gonna have the chance to, you know, ask your brother or your sister or your friend to lend you like his or her laptop to take the exam. Okay, so you have to do it in advance. So that's another thing, another difference. And the other difference is that you are going to be monitored online by a human proctor. So you won't be alone, okay? There's always going to be a person right there answering questions. If you don't feel comfortable talking to a person on the other side of your computer, there's a chat box. So you're gonna be able to let this person know, hey, this screen is frozen. I'm having difficulties. I'm having issues with this. So you won't be alone. They are going to be there to give you all the possible support. Okay. So these are the differences. Okay. But again, if you're thinking on taking home edition, please visit our website. Okay. TOEFL IBT home edition, and check on all the requirements, technical requirements, environment, okay, that you need to meet in order to take it. And the other option is if you're part of a university or you have a group of friends that are planning on taking home edition, contact me and we can, you know, like set up a meeting, Zoom meeting, and I can give you like all the information and answer all the questions you may have. Listo. Okay. Reading. So this is the first part of the exam. Okay, reading. This is the part where people, I think they say this is the most difficult part. I don't think so. I think they say that they think it is the most difficult part because it is the first part, because they are nervous, right? Because they are anxious, thinking about, okay, what am I going to do? Time is there. And in this section, chicos, this is the section where most of the candidates make all the possible mistakes. Okay, and I'm going to talk about these mistakes now because you won't make them. Okay, turning on my cell phone because I need to check on time, because sometimes I talk too much. I know. Okay. Okay, reading. Super. So from 3 to 4 passages. Okay, remember they are taken from passages from academic texts. So most of these passages, I would say all these passages, they are taken from college level textbooks and books or journals of general academic interest. The subject matter of the passages covers a variety of academic subjects at an introductory level of academic study. As I told you before, the exam is not, it doesn't have like a basic level, but it doesn't have like an advanced level. It is intermediate. The test takers, they don't need to be familiar with the subject material. You don't need to be experts, right, on the field. All the information you guys need to answer, the questions will be included in those passages. Remember that after each passage, you're gonna have to work on 10 different questions, okay? Most questions are worth 1 point, but a few are worth more than 1 point. And I'm gonna tell you later why I don't think that the fact that they are worth more than 1 point means that they are more complicated, and you will see why. But probably you're gonna say, Sorani, yes, you're the expert, you're a teacher, you have been a TOEFL IBT facilitator for years. No, I think preparation gives you everything, gives you all the confidence you need to get more than 100 in this exam, okay? These are, okay, task design measures, reading for basic comprehension and inference, and reading to learn, So these are the reading purposes in academic settings: basic comprehension, learning, and inferencing. Okay, all reading passages represent these 3 basic categories: expository, narrative, and argumentative. So for exposition, you're gonna find their explanation of ideas. For narrative, narration, description of an event or a historical or biographical topic. And for argumentation, probably a passage providing reasons leading to a conclusion. So some of these passages have a multiple focus. They present information from more than one point of view, or provide information that can be classified into different components. They generally fall into one of these categories: description, definition, sequence, procedure, cause effect, classification, compare, contrast, problems. I mean, these are the passages that if you analyze, like these patterns, the passages that we have always used, like at the university level, even high school level, right? Okay. Remember, they are taken from first year university books. And I think after the slide of my email, I think this is the most important information, okay? The types of questions. So for basic comprehension, you're gonna find there vocabulary questions. I'm sure most of you are familiar with these types of questions. Sentence simplification, factual or negative fact, and negative fact. Reading to learn, prose summary, classify, categorize, and organize. And for inference, rhetorical purpose, and insert text, okay? So these are the types of questions that you're gonna find in there. So in the way I'm going to present the questions in here, this is the same order of the questions that you're gonna find in the official exam. So this is great. Mistake number one, this is the very first mistake candidates make, okay, when taking TOEFL IBT. And when they start working on that reading section, this is the first thing that they see, okay? The whole screen with the passage, all right? That's it. So what they do, if they never took a TOEFL prep course, is wasting time. This is what they do. They start reading, going over all the passage, although we now tend to refer to the various scraps according to the right? And they start reading, they take their time, they say, okay, I have the time, 54 minutes. Okay, 54 for 3 passages. Let's say the person got, like just 3 passages. 54, that's enough. So I'm gonna be able to work on the 3 of them, 10 questions per passage in those 54. And they take their time and they read. Some of them, they even take notes, right? Because at the beginning, when you get to the TOEFL site, and right after checking in, the proctor or the administrator, they are going to provide all candidates with scratch paper, okay, from the very beginning, and a pencil, okay, for you to take notes, okay. So they even take notes. You say, okay, so here, this may be the main idea. Here I have minor ideas. Oh my God, 20 minutes working on this, just reading. No, what you're going to do, I mean, this is this is based on my experience, okay? Based on my experience as a TOEFL facilitator, as a professor of English. I have been the facilitator of TOEFL prep courses in the past, and based on what I have seen at TOEFL sites, okay? No, you just take a quick look at the text, okay? This is about applied arts and fine arts, okay? Let me see, they are giving some examples. Boom, no more than 20, 30 seconds. You're going to click on next, okay? Why? Because when you click on next, you're going to realize that the exam, that this passage will never disappear. Here it disappeared because this is a PowerPoint presentation, chicos, okay? But in the official exam, your screen is going to be divided. Left side, all this passage, complete, from the very first question till the last question, okay? Right side, the question. So why, wasting 10 minutes trying to understand, like what the passage is talking about, to identify minor ideas, main ideas, if the passage is going to be there, number one. Number two, I think TOEFL IBT is extremely friendly, and it is not, trust me, it is not, I'm not saying this because I work for TOEFL, because no, I'm saying this because of the experience I have had with the exam, because I'm a professor of English as well, because I have taken other exams, okay? I think this exam is extremely friendly, because in the question, right, they are going to give you all the information. If it is a paragraph, look at this. Look, if it is a paragraph, they are going to give you the whole paragraph for you, hold on, to understand that you don't have to read the whole thing to work on this response. You see how friendly it is? Okay, so this is the first question. Sometimes you get one or two vocabulary questions. In the animal world, the task of moving about is fulfilled in many ways. For some animals, locomotion is accomplished by changes in body shape. The word locomotion in the passage is closest in meaning too. Here you have 4 different options. Do we have to go over the whole passage to work on this response? No, because they are giving me the context of the word locomotion. Question number 2, vocabulary. Some poisonous snake bites need to be treated immediately or the victim will suffer paralysis. In stating that the victim will suffer paralysis, the author means that the victim will, 4 options, same thing, suffer paralysis, the context is there. So far, I mean, now, question number 3, remember, left side, all the passage, complete. But they are going to extract one complete paragraph from that passage, and they are going to highlight one of the sentences. This is sentence simplification. And the question is this one. Which of the following best expresses the essential information in the bolded sentence? Incorrect answer choices change the meaning in important ways or leave out essential information. So the designers of the exam are facilitating things. They are telling you guys, hey, don't go over the whole passage. In this paragraph, read this paragraph carefully, and you're gonna find the answer, okay? Next question, factual information. Sculptures must, for example, be stable, which requires ta. So this is another paragraph, okay, different from the previous one, okay, that they extracted. And it says, according to paragraph 2, sculptors in the Italian Renaissance stopped using cannonballs in bronze statues of horses because. So again, they are telling you, don't go over the whole passage. It's not necessary. At this point, okay, next one, negative fact. They give you the last passage. Remember that we have how many? 3 passages, 1, 2, and a baby one, right? Okay. So here in factual, in negative fact, they choose the last paragraph, okay? And they say, the passage discusses applied art objects in relation to all of the following except, and 4 options there. Chicos, at this point, all candidates have, I mean, you have read like all the passage. In fact, I would say that you have read it, that you have gone through every single detail of the passage because you have taken the time, you know, to analyze, to carefully analyze like paragraph per paragraph, okay? This is the reason why this next question, which is worth 2 points, more than 1, is not that complicated. Because at this point, of course, you're gonna have the possibility to read like all the passage that is here on the left part, on the left side of your screen. You have it there. But you already, I mean, at this point, you've already identified main idea, minor ideas, so it's not going to be that complicated, okay? These are the directions. An introductory sentence for a brief summary of the passage is provided below. Complete the summary by selecting the 3 answer choices that express important ideas in the passage. Some sentences do not belong in the summary because they express ideas that are not presented in the passage or are minor ideas in the passage. This question is worth 2 points. Sorani, is it going to be the same instruction? See, it is going to be the same instruction, okay? Drag your answer choices to the spaces where they belong. So here we have the introductory sentence for a brief summary. And here, this is like the kind of, you know, like the difficult part. Here we have 6 different options. You could say, Sorani, so, I mean, this question is not that complicated because if we have here on the left side, as you just said, all the passage, it is just a matter of organizing the information and choosing you know, like the 3 answer choices that we consider express important ideas in the passage. It's just like that. The only level of, you know, like the only level of difficulty that this question has is that the options are paraphrased. That's all. Okay, they are paraphrased. So you have to be careful. Remember, a single preposition can change, you know, like the whole story of a sentence. Same story with this type of question. This is classifying, categorizing, and organizing information. Directions: complete the table below of the 2 types of art discussed in the passage. Match the appropriate statements to the types of art with which they are associated. This question is worth 3 points, okay? Drag your answer choices to the spaces where they belong. So here we have types of art, applied art, select 3, fine art, select 2, and here we have 7 different options. So what you're gonna have to do, what you're gonna do is just to drag your answer choices. Same story, they are paraphrased, okay? They are paraphrased. Right after this question, we come back to the easy ones, okay? They choose a paragraph that you're already familiar with and highlight a statement. And they say, why does the author introduce this claim? At this point, you've already understood the whole story of the passage. Trust me, I've taken this exam like 7 times, I guess, okay? And then you have the options. Inference, they choose another paragraph that you're already familiar with. Which of the following can be inferred from paragraph 1 about candles before the 19th century? 4 options. And this is the last question, okay? Look at the 4 squares that indicate where the following sentence could be added to the passage. All 3 of them have strengths and weaknesses, but none adequately answers all of the questions the paintings present. Okay, so here we have the sentence, here we have the paragraph. Scholars offer 3 related but different opinions. One opinion is that the paintings were, so you have to read, okay, and then read carefully the paragraph, read the sentence, and make the decision, where would the sentence best fit? Okay, so you could say, okay, let's say first square, and you read and it makes sense, all right? You say, okay, I got it at once, perfect. But probably you're gonna have, for sure, you're gonna have the time to try like another option. Okay, let's see if probably in the third square, and you read and it makes sense, okay? So that's where things start, you know, like to complicate a little bit, okay? So what are you going to do, Sorani? So if I consider that this sentence could definitely work for any of those 4 squares, for those blanks, I mean, what can I do? What am I going to choose? Simple. The one that you consider is the closest to the correct, you know, like answer, to the correct, to give like the whole paragraph, like the complete sense, okay? Because this is a well designed multiple choice question. A well-designed multiple choice question, chicos, is where all the options are correct, but there is one that is closest, yes, is closest to be like the correct one compared to the others. And this is the last question, chicos, okay? So these are all the questions that you are going to find in TOEFL, in the exam, in the official TOEFL IBT. You're gonna find them in the same order, okay, that I just presented. That's important. Remember that you're gonna have access to this presentation. I think the recording of this presentation, you have my email, okay? So if you have questions, email me and I'm gonna guide you on how to solve your issue, okay? All right, let me see the time. Oh, perfect. Oh my God. I have questions. I had 5, but can I ask at least 3?
No, you can ask all 5. Go for it. We don't have that many questions from the audience, so you can definitely ask the questions. And I'm going to activate the chat, everyone, so you can write your answer in the chat so everyone can see, because Sorani is going to give you example questions and she wants you to try and guess the answer.
Okay, and there are no questions in the chat, Margaret, because my presentation was extremely clear, okay?
Yes, exactly, yes.
Oh, there's a question. Okay, hold on. Okay, there are questions. Okay, question number one. This is simple. This is very easy. Let me open my chat box. Yeah. Why, oh my God, this is tricky. Why do we say that TOEFL IBT integrates skills? What is the reason? Okay, my timer is here. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna give you I think 20 seconds, more than enough. Okay, let me see. Because combines 4 skills, writing, reading, listening. Excellent. I got it. Okay. And that was, hold on, let me see the name. Kevin. Kevin, yes, that was Kevin. Kevin, excellent. Yeah. Remember that in the speaking section, you're going to have to read, you're going to have to listen to a conversation, you're going to have to take notes. And there was a question in there about note taking. Yes, the exam is very friendly. You can take notes from the very beginning of the exam. Right after checking in, the administrators and the proctors, they are going to provide you guys with scratch paper. If in the middle of the exam you need additional scratch paper, you just raise your hand, okay? And you're gonna be able to get more and take your notes. If you're taking home edition, you're not gonna be able to use scratch paper, but you're gonna have the possibility to take notes using, in fact, this is another difference, using this transparent sheet protectors, like plastic protectors that we use in the past for how do you call that? Not for slides, for transparencies, right? Okay, or just one of these boards, yes, with an erasable marker. All right, so that's what you can do. Listo. Okay, question number 2. This is very simple. What are, you can give me just 2, the soft skills TOEFL IBT has that we think they are necessary additionally to reading, listening, speaking, and writing to get a higher score? I mentioned, yes, excellent. Summarizing, paraphrasing, super atentos, great. Okay, time management, note taking, summarizing, beautiful. Okay, super. Okay, guys, thank you. Question number 3. Give me 2 differences, just 2 differences between home edition and the exam that you take at a TOEFL site. Because are very, very attentive. Okay. Excellent. On equipment and human proctor. Perfect. The software, right? Making it at home. Yes. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. I'm glad I didn't raffle a TOEFL IBT, the official TOEFL IBT, Margaret, with these questions. I mean, using these questions. Okay. And how many passages can you find in the reading section? Ah, no, super quick. Okay, okay. Perfect, perfect. No more questions, Margaret. Okay.
Okay,
I mean,
we have a couple from the audience that I wrote down, so I'm going to ask those really fast. Someone wants to just, I think you mentioned it, but just to confirm, when the students are taking the reading section, can they see the reading passage and the questions at the same time, or do they first read and then have the questions? How does that work?
No, as I told you, the exam is really friendly. You're gonna get to see, the passage all the time and the question. Your screen is going to be divided, so the passage will never disappear. Otherwise, it would be something that you will have to do by heart, which is not
memory.
Yeah, doesn't have to do anything with meaningful learning, Margaret. So no, the passage won't disappear. It's going to be there.
Okay, and then how much time do you recommend to check your answers in the reading section? Or do you think it's best to not check your answers and try and use the whole time to be reading and answering? Or do you have any suggestions there?
Okay, something else that I forgot to share with you, chicos, is that you can skip questions within, the same passage, all right? So you can skip questions. So that's gonna give you the possibility to measure a little bit, like how long am I going to take, like working on this response. If you consider this question is like quite, like difficult, complicated, just skip it and go on with the next one. All right.
Skip it and then go back, or skip it and you don't have to answer ever.
See. I no. That's me, Margaret. No, you can go back.
Okay. So
You can go back.
okay, perfect. You can go back. Okay. And we have another question in the chat. What happens if I'm taking the home edition test and my internet or electricity goes out? Do I lose it? Do I have to pay again? Do I have to start from zero? How does that work?
You have two options. Option number one, you can contact Proctor EU, because you're gonna, like in your email, you're gonna have all that information. You're gonna have a phone number in case you experience like technical difficulties. You're gonna have an email, okay? But additionally, you can contact a TOEFL services, okay? So you're gonna explain the situation. Make sure to write your full name, complete name, and your ETS ID, okay? That's extremely important. This is my name is Sorani Marin Gonzalez. My ETS ID is a number with letters that you're gonna find in your ETS account. So this is what happened. So they are going to confirm and they are going to give you a free makeup. So you won't lose your money. That's number one. Number two, if you feel more comfortable talking to Sorani, okay, you can email me. Yes, you can send me an email, Sorani, this is what happened. There was a problem with internet connection or a power cut in my building, etc. So could you please help back? Give me your full name and your ETS ID, and I want to help you out. You won't lose your money for sure.
Okay. Another question we have is, are there any online exercises in which we can practice for the reading part?
See, there are many. I'm gonna give you a link. Okay, I'm gonna share a link with you. Many of these materials that you're gonna find in here, they are for free. So of course, let me see, this is for everybody. Okay, so this is the, yes, and Margaret at Education USA and all your Education USA advisors, they do have all these links and all these materials so they can share them with you, okay?
Okay, and then I have one last question because I know we're short on time. If we didn't get to answer your questions today, please participate the other 3 days and we can try and answer them. And I think this is an important thing to ask because I know it has happened to some of my students. But so one person said that they recently took the TOEFL. I think they took it at home, I believe. And during one of their breaks, they had to go to the bathroom. And they had to answer a phone call from their job. And in the end, their test score was canceled. So is there anything that they can do? Or what do you think this could be a lesson for other people about how to follow the rules for the home essentials tests?
They are very excellent question. Thank you, Margaret. They are very strict and all the rules are, visit our website, okay? So forget about your cell phone. Forget about letting the dog or the cat or your mom get into your room, the room where you're taking the exams, or anybody, what's the break? No.
Yes.
During the break, close the door. No one is going to be allowed to enter that room. Never touch, don't even look at your cell phone. During the check-in, Margaret, they give, and that's in the website, they give candidates two options for showing the proctor the desk where they are testing, show the proctor like the computer, and they give two options. They give candidates two options. Option number one, the frontal camera of your cell phone, number one, and number two, a mirror. I always, in my webinars, I always tell my candidates, forget about the cell phone, use a mirror. This is temptation during the exam. This is going, yeah. So yeah, I mean, they are going to lose the money. They are going to lose the money. I'm sorry, and that's sad.
The question to follow up and just to finish is, during the TOEFL at-home test, can they, during the break, can they go to the bathroom, or they can't go to the bathroom the whole time?
Yes, they can go, but make sure you close the door. Close the door. No one is going to enter that room. Go to the restroom, drink some water, stretch, and go back on time. Okay?
Okay, perfect. Well, that's all the time we have for today, but just to remind you all, we have tomorrow at the same time, the listening section next Wednesday, next Thursday, speaking and writing, and we will be raffling off a free practice test among the people that participate in all 4 sessions. I also wanted to remind you that this is being recorded to Facebook Live, Education USA Costa Rica. So if you want to watch it again, then it's there for you as a resource. Thank you so much, Sorani, and we will see you tomorrow at the same exact time.
See you tomorrow. Get ready for listening.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye.